ستيف بروس مثلا يحط لك 5 في خط الدفاع ويلعب مهاجمين. اللاعبين في النص.
What is your VPN?
My VPN?
Yes.
My VPN is Spider VPN.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم في برنامج نيوكاسل مع وليد. طبعا الفترة اللي بعد صفقة الاستحواذ حاولنا نغير بطرق الحلقات عندنا شوي، نغير شوي الجو العام. نصيحة في البداية، حاولوا تتجنبون أخبار بعض الصحفيين، الأخبار المغلوطة اللي تكتب أشياء أحيانا يعني من غير أي مصداقية تذكر. راح نعمل حلقة إن شاء الله بخصوص هذه الأخبار اللي جاني كثير رسائل في الخاص عنها. راح نعمل حلقة إن شاء الله مع كريستوفر عن هذه الحلقة إن شاء الله يوم السبت. راح نتكلم فيها مين نثق أو مين المصادر الصحفية اللي راح نعتمد عليها، ومين المصادر الصحفية اللي ما عندها سالفة وما عندها كلامها بس فقط لبيع الجرائد. هذا بس كانت مقدمة بسيطة نحتاج نقولها على الرد على الرسائل اللي جتني. طبعا معنا اليوم حلقة جديدة، راح نتعلم لهجة أهل نيوكاسل. معنا مدرسي في اللهجة الجوردية، معنا دايف من نيوكاسل راح يعلمنا اليوم كيف يعني بعض المصطلحات. تعرفون يعني هم يتكلموا في اللغة الإنجليزية نيوكاسل، لكن لهم لهجة خاصة فيهم، لهجة مميزة فيها بعض يعني مثلا طرق النطق، بعض الكلمات المهمة. أيضا بعض الأماكن اللي ينصحون فيها زيارتها في نيوكاسل إن شاء الله لما نسافر قريبا لمدينة نيوكاسل. Ladies and gentlemen, or let's say lads and lasses, welcome to Newcastle with وليد, with Dave, who will make us learn today some Gordie's words, some Gordie's places. Welcome, Dave, to the show. It's an honor.
Hi, وليد. You all right, mate?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right. You feeling well?
Feeling fantastic.
Good. Really good to hear that. Looking good with the Gaza hairstyle, mind.
Yeah, this is Gaza style here. It's new. I promise I will do this after the takeover, and here I do my promise. Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, I shouldn't start talking George's, maybe later.
Yeah.
Tell her about yourself, about Dave, what you want to share with the fans, and your feeling after the takeover.
Well, my name's Dave. I'm from Northumberland, but I live around by the Tyne now. I'm 58-year-old, and the only time I can ever remember Newcastle winning anything was back in 1969 when they won the Fairs Cup. The FA Cup finals of 74, the League Cup final of 76. The two other cup finals were also broken my heart. But yes, it still doesn't put me off following Newcastle. Yeah, I'm a Newcastle fan till I die. I bleed black and white blood. I've got a black and white heart. But me, a bit more about me personally, that I've got a disability, but that hasn't stopped me achieving what I want to achieve. I still like playing football. Anyway, I used to like playing football. Too old and too fat to play football these days. But I like, I'm into mods. They're the scooterists who used to go around the coasts of Great Britain back in the 60s and back in the late 70s. And like Jam, Paul Waller, Style Council. I'm a season ticket holder at St James's Park, and I have been since Kevin Keegan's playing days. So, and I haven't given up my season ticket. I haven't walked away. I love Newcastle, and Newcastle comes first. Apart from the wife and the Benz, of course. They come first before anything. Got to say that. But the takeover, I've been behind the takeover 100%. Ever since Steve Wraith and Steve Hasty and Mitch, and then Keith Patterson when Keith Patterson joined. Keith is an absolute god. For what he's done. He took this on, and I've been behind him all the way. I went down to London. I protested in London. I met Holly in London. She's a fantastic young lady. She's a great speaker. I think she's got a long way to go. She's got far to go with Newcastle. But I'm really pleased that Amanda and Mirdad have come in with the Rubens and PIF. I was outside the hotel when Mirdad and Amanda came out, and it was I don't know if you've seen the video, but I'm on the video. I'm bubbling, I'm crying, because I'm with so much enthusiasm and excitement.
Yeah, I see you and Holly. I see you.
It was one of those emotional moments, and that's where history was made.
How's the celebration afterwards?
Well, we went from me and Holly, because Holly was dying to get back into Newcastle because she's seen the crowds and she wanted to be part of the crowds. But I kept saying, wait, we're going to wait here because this is where history's going to be made. And then when Mirdad came out, and then when Amanda came out, she was over the moon. And I says, "Howard, we'll get back to Newcastle now." So we got back.
Where they are?
They were at the Jesmond Dean Hotel, which is
far from Newcastle.
It's about 1.5 miles, 2 miles outside of Newcastle.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't very far from Newcastle. But it was just a quick 5-minute drive back into Newcastle to park the car up, and then it was just joining the party. It was and getting mobbed by everybody. It was a fantastic experience. It was brilliant. And then obviously we met Steve, and we met Liam Kennedy and Keith Patterson later on. When Sam Fender was playing in the Strawberry Pub. But it was a fantastic experience. Such a fantastic experience. One of those days you'll never forget. And I know Holly, she reckons it's one of the best days of her life. But the thing is, she's only 16. She's got a lot longer to go yet, and many more heartaches and heartbreaks coming with regards to Newcastle United, because that's what they do to you. They break your heart. But hopefully now, with some proper owners in place, on to bigger and better things, I hope.
Hopefully this is all what happen, inshallah. Great things to happen. Let's go into our lesson. I will become the student and you will be the teacher. But first, let's do a scene. I don't know if you can do a scene with me. It's from the goal. I will play Santo Moniz, and you will play the one who the guy who I think the coach, or not the coach, the one who meet him at the airport.
All right.
You remember the lines?
No, I don't actually.
No, I didn't.
No.
When he said, okay, he said,
right.
welcome. He said, welcome to the tune.
Oh, that one. Yes, I've seen that. Yes, yes, I've seen that.
You remember the lines or not?
No, I don't remember the lines exactly. No, but
okay, I will
guess what he's going to say.
Okay, I will play the both character. He said, welcome to the tune, and the Santi say, what is that?
Well, yeah.
So he get answered, it's where the Geordies live. He said, what is the Geordie? He said, he's the place lived by in the tune. He said, you have a lot to learn, Bonnie lad. Yeah, this was the line.
Yeah, you did very well there, وليد. You did very well there. You didn't need me. You knew exactly what you were saying.
Okay, now I have to act like student. So, Mr. Dave, walk us through it.
Right, this is obviously the Newcastle, the iconic Tyne Bridge, where every Geordie crosses, knows when they're crossing that Tyne Bridge, they're coming home.
طبعا هذا جسر التاين، أشهر بقعة في نيوكاسل، أرض الجورديين، أشهر معلم تجاري في نيوكاسل اللي هو جسر التاين.
Yeah, this is just the contents page where we're going to be discussing the history of the Geordie, what is a Geordie, whether a Geordie or a Pitjaka or a Smoggy or a Mackham.
اوكي، المحتويات راح نتكلم عن نيوكاسل بشكل عام تاريخيا. في اتوقع انه يقصد نشوف الحين يعني في 4 مثلا يعني ما بنقول احنا قبائل، بنقول يمكن 4 فئات من مثلا المجتمع تقريبا. هذا اللي فهمته. I want to ask you Dave before I explain in Arabic. Those 4 are tribal? It's mean tribal or different group of people or different areas? What is it exactly?
It's if you, it's like it's slightly tribal, but just the certain areas within the northeast, like say the Geordies are technically from Newcastle, who and its conurbations, the like North Tyneside and little parts of South Tyneside, where that's where the Geordies are technically from. It's all based around the mining communities, whereas the pit yakas tend to be mainly from the mining communities. So they'll be around by Northumberland and by Durham, which are the large mining areas in the northeast.
Okay, so just to explain this. 4 مناطق تقريبا في نيوكاسل حسب الشمال. في 4 مناطق طبعا. في الجورديس اللي يعيشون فيه الجورديين، في بيتيكرز مناطق بعيدة مترامية الأطراف. Okay, Smogies. What is a Smogies, Dave?
A smoggy it's a nickname that has been given to inhabitants of the industrial areas of Middlesbrough, because it was built up on a chemical. Been built up on a chemical industry. So they got nicknamed smoggies or smog monsters.
Okay. هذه هي المناطق الصناعية في منطقة شمال شرق انجلترا. اغلبها تكون في مدينة ميدلسبرا، بس هم سموجز نسبة للدخان اللي يسويها هذه اللي يعني تحصل بسبب المصانع. جميل جدا. Number 4, I think this is famous Mackems. What is the Mackems, Dave?
Well, Mackem is technically somebody who is from the Wearside area of the northeast, and that was again built around the shipbuilding industry, where on Tyneside we used to say make them and take them, but from Sunderland, from the Wearside, it was the Mackem and the Tackham. So that's where the Mickey name came from. They were called Mackems because they're the Mackem ships. So that's where they got Mackem from. But the people of Wearside and Sunderland now have taken that on as a badge of honor.
So the Sunderland people saying about themselves they are Mackems.
Yes.
Like Newcastle say we are Geordies.
Yeah. And
okay. المكمز على الأغلب أنهم سكان مدينة ساندرلاند يعني. But where does that come from? What does it mean? Or there's no name?
It just means it's just the way they actually say, they pronounce something. It's like we mack them and we tack them. You know, we make them and take them. So that's just a simple way that they talk. So that's where that came from. About Mackem and Tackham, you know, we don't say that in Newcastle.
اوكي سو حسب النطق، اختلاف في النطق عندهم في بعض الكلمات، فزي ما تقولون هذه زي اللي خلاص صارت علامة لهم، فطريقة نطقهم لبعض الكلمات نشأت معنا هذه الكلمة. Right, what next?
Yeah.
It was clear يعني for us, yeah.
There we go. What's my next slide? I'll read it.
No, same. They said getting the tune. How to get to Newcastle?
Yeah, how we get Newcastle? Yeah, we've got.
This is the content. Still, we're still in the content.
Just the contents, yes, just the contents.
Okay, so Kenan at the tune. How to get to Newcastle?
Yeah.
This is another chapter. Okay.
Yeah, so you need to go to that slide. Yes.
Okay, let's go to the slide.
So. This is about the tune. This one's simply about the tune, what Newcastle's all about. I'll get this one up because I've got it on my screen as well. So, yeah, Newcastle is commonly known as Newcastle, or by the Geordies as the Toon or Geordie land. Our local time, GMT, We've got universities: Newcastle University, Northumberland University, Newcastle College. This is just describing what's around the area that people might be interested in. Points of interest would be the football club, the Tyne Bridge. So it's just basically listing what's around the area that people can find out about Newcastle.
Okay, so how about I can go? I will try to translate it, and
Yes.
when I will ask you when I. اوكي
Yes.
هذه تقريبا اهم المعالم في نيوكاسل الاساسيه. بالبدايه نقول انه نيوكاسل طبعا معروفه هي تسمى نيوكاسل ابون تاين، لكن اختصارا تسمى نيوكاسل. تعتبر الجوردي لاند اللي هم الغالبيه العظمى في المدينه. مدينه تقع في الشمال الشرقي، تبعد 103 ميل عن ادنبرا في اسكتلندا، و277 ميل عن شمال لندن، في منطقة نورثرن بانك اوف ذا ريفر تاين. منطقة هذه اللي هي عند النهر، تبعد برضو 8.5 ميل عن نورث سي كوست لاين، شمال البحر الشمالي يسمى الكوست لاين. نيوكاسل طبعا أشهر مدينة في تلك المنطقة الشمال الشرقي، وهي قلب التاين سايد. They said heart of Tyneside. What does it mean, Tyneside?
Tyneside,
the river?
The river, yes. Yeah, because the river, like I say, parts of Newcastle is north of Tyne.
Sorry to interrupt you, Dave, but Tom Dixon says Bruce out. Is he protesting, or is he telling us news? Please, Tom, we didn't have time to make our heart to meet. Okay, this is I think this I don't know. So yeah. Please, Tom, if it's really happened, tell us, please. Okay, yes. Sorry, you were saying what is Tyneside? Is it the river?
Tyneside is the river. The river stretches right from I would say the Northumberland hills all the way down to the river, to Tynemouth, and both sides of the river are Tyneside, but the central conurbation is Newcastle, Gateshead, North Tyneside, South Tyneside. South Tyneside includes Jarrow and South Shields, whereas the North Tyneside includes Whitley Bay, Tynemouth, North Shields. So Tyneside is quite large, and Newcastle is the heart of that. Newcastle's the beating heart of Tyneside.
اوكي، تاينسايد هي المنطقة ككل، لكن بشكل عام نيوكاسل في قلب هذه المنطقة. في طبعا يتكلم هنا عن اللوكال تايم. اوكي، ستاندرد تايم. جامعات نيوكاسل فيها 3 جامعات: نيوكاسل يونيفرسيتي، نورثرمبيان يونيفرسيتي، ونيوكاسل كوليدج. So this is only 3 college in Newcastle.
The other 3 main ones. There's
main one أساسية. Okay.
Yeah. This Gateshead College, but these are the main ones which are actually based in Newcastle, right in the city centre. The university, both universities are right next to St James's Park. So they're the big parts of the city as well.
So there is also 2 airports: Newcastle Central Station and Newcastle International Airport.
Right, the Central Station is the main railway station. That is the main link between Newcastle and London, and Newcastle and Edinburgh. Whereas the International Airport.
So محطة واحدة اللي هي نيوكاسل سنترال، ومطار واحد اللي هو نيوكاسل انترناشونال. اوكي، طبعا راح نتكلم بوينت اوف انترست. نيوكاسل طبعا اهم المعالم. So this is point of interest. اهم المعالم في نيوكاسل واحدة. نيوكاسل كلب طبعا النادي، نهر جسر التاين، نيوكاسل كاسل، نيوكاسل كاسل، قلعة نيوكاسل. ليش سميت المدينة بنيوكاسل؟ سهلة هذه. هيدرينز مول. first time هيدرينز wall. Sorry, Hadrian's Wall of St. Nicholas. What is that, Dave?
Hadrian's Wall is the world-renowned wall that actually separates England, or used to separate England from Scotland. That wall stretches right across the UK, So that's Hadrian's Wall, and it was built by the Romans. So that's one of the major tourist attractions, because you see, it used to separate UK. It used to be the edge of the Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire ended at Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, that's great. I also hear there is also in Turkey there is روميلي حصار, same thing. اوكي, هذا جدار بين اسكتلندا وبريطانيا زمان, معلم تاريخي يسمى جدار هدريان. هذا اللي كان يفصل اسكتلندا عن بريطانيا في تلك الفترة, حسب ما يقول ديف. كاثيدرال نيوكاسل, كاثوليك كاثيدرال, طبعا الكنيسة في نيوكاسل. تشاينا تاون. How's the Chinatown there? We always every country have their own Chinatown. Is it special in Newcastle?
It's very special. It's directly opposite St James's Park as well, and they've got a big ornamental gate which leads into Chinatown, and it's the beating heart of the Chinese community within the northeast. Big celebrations there on Chinese New Year, so it's one of the best areas, certainly for food and culture, Chinese culture. It's a really good place to be.
منطقة تعبر عن تراث الصيني, فيها العديد من المطاعم والأسواق, أيضا فيها كثير احتفالات تصير شعبية تبعا لي طبعا معروف السنة الصينية وما إلى ذلك. Okay. Eldon Square Shopping Mall.
Yeah, I know.
Is it the best mall in Newcastle?
It's the best mall in Newcastle because it's the only mall in Newcastle.
Okay.
We've got the Metro Centre at Gateshead. The Metro Centre is very nice as well, but Eldon Square is the one we've got in Newcastle City Centre. So I know Saudi people like the shopping malls, so they would like a shopping mall. So Eldon Square is a good place to be.
هو المول الأفضل في نيوكاسل والوحيد في نيوكاسل اللي هو Eldon Square Shopping Mall. Is it the one that's called City Centre Mall? Same one or no?
No, I don't know. I don't know if that one. I've never heard it. I've never heard it called City Centre Mall before, but it certainly is in the city centre. It's smack bang in the middle of the city centre.
Okay. Granger Town. What is that?
Granger Town was voted a few years ago to be one of the most charismatic streets in the UK, and it's built around by the Theatre Royal. Beautiful streets and architecture. Within that, there's the Granger Town Market. It's a very old market where they used to trade all sorts of goods. It's still very popular today. It's just historical. It's part of Newcastle.
منطقة تاريخية في نيوكاسل تدعى Granger Town. طيب, Discovery Museum, متحف Discovery.
Yeah.
Discovery Museum.
It's also mainly that the Discovery Museum again is just short of St James's Park, and what that does is that celebrates the industrial heritage of the Northeast. So
the takeover story will be there soon.
Yes,
in the museum.
Yeah. One day it will
be. Mike Ashley picture.
No, don't mention his name. Don't mention his name.
Okay, sorry.
Put an asterisk where you mention his name.
طيب. اوكي. متحف اسمه ديسكفري, طبعا في العديد, طبعا متحف يعني كفي بقية المتاحف فيها يعني بعض الاشياء التاريخية وما الى ذلك, لكن يقول انه قلت انا هل بيصير فيها طبعا شيء يعني يحكي عن قصة الاستحواذ اللي صارت, يعني لازم تصير في متحف عشان تخلد يعني. Theatre Royal, Newcastle. This is for cinema.
Theatre Royal, no, it's a proper theatre. Stage shows.
Live shows or cinema?
Live shows.
Live shows. مسارح. نسميها مسارح.
But theatre, it's not pop groups. It's live theatre. It's.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. مسرح الملكي في نيوكاسل, عروض يعني حية وما إلى ذلك. Center of Life.
Yes, the Center of Life is it's a museum, but it's also part of Newcastle University, where they mapped the human genome, and it's medical. But they've also got a museum which actually they allow children into to go and see things of how medical facts, and I can't really describe anything more about that. But yeah, it's all about the human body. It's a really interesting place to go.
And it's for learning about medical, you mean?
It's about learning, yeah. It's about learning.
منطقة صحية تعليمية فيها يعني العديد الأشياء اللي تهتم بالصحة العامة. The Baltic.
The Baltic, yeah. The Baltic is the Contemporary Arts Centre. Very much like
historical البلطيق اللي هم يسمونه البلطيق. Baltic historical, huh?
No, it's contemporary. It's modern, very modern art. It's a bit like the Tate. It's a bit like the Tate in London. The thing is, the Baltic, it actually caused a big stir in London a few years ago, with some people saying it was wasted on the thick Geordies because it was contemporary art. It was modern. Why was something like that being put in Newcastle? It's like to say that we aren't. It was people saying, like Brian Sewell was saying, that we aren't educated enough to have something like that. But it's a very, very very popular art centre.
منطقة تعليمية يعني تهتم بالفن، موصوفة بالبلطيك، بس أنا صراحة ما فهمت بالضبط معنى البلطيك، بس أعتقد إني كان يعني ما بيتفلسف، بس كان يعني إن البلطيك نفس لما يقول لك البلطيق أو دول يعني على العموم إنه هو له علاقة بالفن الحديث، مركز الفن الحديث، لوحات وقطع وأشياء فنية وما إلى ذلك. Okay, next, the saga. Is it take over saga or something else?
It could be something. Could be the takeover saga. It's actually the Sage. It's called the Sage.
Sage.
And it's a very distinctive building. If you go down to the Tyne Bridge, you'll see the Sage, which is on the opposite side. It's on the Gateshead side of the River Tyne, and it's actually a glass building. It's very, very space age. It looks. I don't know if you ever saw the movie with Alien. Have you ever seen the movie?
I didn't recall.
No, wait. It's actually shaped like an alien's head, and it's actually a fantastic building. And it's a contemporary music venue, and it's also used for conferences and stuff like that. It's a really big centre.
مبنى زجاجي معروف في نيوكاسل، يقوم يعني باستضافة الحفلات الغنائية وما إلى ذلك. هذا الذي يدعى the Sage يعني للحفلات والكونسرت وما إلى ذلك. Lying Art Gallery.
Yep, that's the Laying Art Gallery.
Laying Art Gallery.
That is just a standard art gallery with lots of sculptures and paintings in it, mainly from people around the region. But it's a local art gallery.
اي مركز اللي هو متحف فني فيه كثير من اللوحات، خصوصا لفنانين محليين يعني من نيوكاسل. Newcastle City Hall.
Yes.
Is it like any city? They said it's the City Hall, or how you can describe Newcastle City Hall? Yes.
Newcastle City Hall is actually the venue that all rock stars, pop stars, groups go to. The City Hall is the premier venue for music, for rock groups and stuff like that. Paul Wallace playing there next year, and the Jam have played there, and the Beatles have played there, the Rolling Stones have played there. Yeah, it's iconic. It's the place to go in Newcastle for a rock concert. But also they do speeches and events like that. But it's a big arena. Again, it's in the city centre. This is what I mean about Newcastle. Everything I've spoken to you about is actually based in the city centre. It's not far away. So this is why it says the beating heart, because everything around Newcastle. So if you come to Newcastle, everything you want to go and see is within easy walking distance of St James's Park.
اوكي سو ذاتس جريت. طبعا ديف يتكلم عن نيوكاسل سيتي هول انه زي ميزه نيوكاسل، يقول لك انه المنطقه كل شيء في النص، كل شيء قريب منها، حتى الملعب قريب منها. السيتي هول اغلبها للايفنتات والحفلات الموسيقيه والروك، ويعني مكان تمشي يعني تقريبا، يعني زي مركز المدينه تقريبا. قريب من السيتي سنتر، كل شيء موجود في هذه المنطقه. يعني مناسب لزياره مثلا، يعني الاصدقاء يروحون يتمشون يعني. زي حنا مثلا لما نروح مثلا تركي الاول تقريبا، انا كذا فهمتها يعني. تقريبا هذا المكان يسمى سيتي هول. ساوند جريت بليس ريلي. نيوكاسل ريكورس
Race course.
ريس كورس.
Yes, that's where. That's on the outside of Newcastle. It's just
خارج
outside.
نيوكاسل. يس.
Yeah, but it's part of Newcastle. It's currently owned. I think it's owned by the Reuben brothers.
اوه
Yes,
اوكي.
they already own that, and it's a big race course. Now, if we cut, that's where it would be one of the new sites for St James's Park if we had to move. But I wouldn't want to move to the race course. It's too far out of Newcastle city centre. It's too far away. But it's a big race course, and it's, like I say, it's owned by the Reubens.
ريس يعني for horses.
For horses, yes.
آه.
Only for horses.
like Peaky Blinders.
Yes, like Peaky Blinders, yes.
اوكي so to understand. طبعا
Yes.
هذا مضمار سباق بعيد شوي عن المدينه. مملوك للاخوين روبن اللي شركاء الصندوق الاستثمار في صفقه نيوكاسل، اللي يحب الخيول طبعا. The Hancock Museum.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. A lot of museum you have.
Yeah, this is the Hancock Museum is it's something which is actually attached to Newcastle University, and it's just biodiversity. They've got dinosaur bones and octopus bones, and it's just one of those ordinary museums. It's just an ordinary museum, but again, it's in a building which is very, very architecturally pleasing. It's a very nice building, very lovely building, right on the outskirts of Newcastle, and it was commissioned by Lord Armstrong. So he's had a lot of hands in that, and it's been there for a long time.
متحف قديم مؤسسه او اللي اوجده اسمه ارمسترونج. طبعا اللي فهمت انه مكان مثلا زي المتحف اللي يتكلم مثلا زي عالم الديناصورات اللي كان عندنا، عالم الديناصورات. يعني لو رحتم هناك اللي تابعين فريندز ممكن يشوفون روس جيلر دير. طيب جيزموند دين and town more. This is one thing?
No, two places, two separate places.
Okay, what is it? Jesmond Dane. What is that?
Jesmond Dean. First off, that's where the hotel is based, where my dad and Amanda were staying last week.
Oh, the hotel.
The hotel, yeah. But in that grounds, I've put you some pictures in of Jesmond Dean. It's got waterfalls and bridges. It's just a very, very lovely country park and a lovely country walk. But it's actually in Newcastle city centre. It's hard to believe we've got this beautiful park, and it was actually built. It's not natural. It was built in the Victorian times, before the Victorian times, I think. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful place to go for a walk. It's a lot of trees, river, waterfalls.
Resort? You can explain it as a resort or no?
It's not a resort. No, you can't actually go and stay there. You can stay at the hotel, and it's an easy walk away. But it's just a country park. It's just a nice walk in the country park. And I mean, obviously, that's quite different from Saudi, where there's just a lot of green and a lot of water. It's a beautiful place to go.
اوكي، منطقة جميلة خارج مدينة نيوكاسل، يعني تبعد تقريبا ميلين خارج المدينة، يعني مش بعيد مرة. هي تقريبا فيها هوتيل اللي سكن فيه أماندا. احنا شفنا كلنا الفيديو اللي كان موجود في ديف في استقبال أماندا ومرداد أثناء إعلان الصفقة. وتسلم مفاتيح سان جيمس بارك. منطقة بعد فيها بحيرات وأشجار ومنطقة خضراء. The town more. That's what it is.
Yeah, the town more is a large open space right next to St James's Park. Actually, St James's Park is actually built on the town moor. And the town moor, a massive, expansive greenland, and we've tried to build a new stadium 20 years ago on that land, and it met with a lot of protests. And it would because it is such a green belt area that they wouldn't allow us to build a new stadium on that land. And it's also used once a year for what we call the hoppings. The hoppings is a large open air fair with fun rides and waltzers, and every year that takes place, although it hasn't been on for the past 2 years because of COVID. But that's
for charity.
No, it's just a big fair, big open fair for everybody to attend. It runs from it's normally a week. It runs for a week, and it's just fun fair rides, dodgems and carousels, water flumes, big wheels. But that's just for somewhere for people to go to once a year. But the problem is, it normally comes when it's raining.
Actually, I still not clear what is it exactly. I'm sorry.
It's
what is hopping? Hopping, please.
Hopping. It's called the hoppings.
Hoppings.
Hoppings. Hoppings.
Yeah.
That's the name. That was the name it was given. The hoppings.
It's just a name.
It's just a name, and everybody calls it the hoppings.
But what the people doing there?
Just enjoying themselves. It's fun fair. It's
fun fair. That's the word I lost it actually.
Yeah,
fun fair.
Fun fair. Yeah, it's a fun fair. And it runs for a week, but normally it rains, so you normally end up plunging in mud. So you normally it's very deep in mud, so it doesn't normally last. A lot of people still go. Even though it's very muddy, but it's just one of those things everybody accepts. It's a good day out. If it costs you a lot of money, you need a lot of money to go there because all the rides charge you about £2 a ride to go on, and there's quite a lot of rides to go on, so it'll cost you a lot of money to go.
أنا اللي فهمت إنه منطقة فيها يعني رحلات، منطقة خارجية لكنها طينية كثير، يروحون لها كثير مرة، يعني تقريبا يعني مرة بالسنة تكون الأجواء فيها كويسة، مرة في السنة، لكن بسبب كوفيد صار لهم فترة ما يسوون هذا الإيفنت. أتوقع إنه منطقة إيفنتات، لكن صراحة ممكن أحط علامة عليها بعدين أحاول أعرف تفاصيل أكثر عنها، اللي هي تاون مور. ممكن جوجلت، لأنه أحيانا تعرف بعض الأحيانا إذا كلمة واحدة ما فهمتها، هذه مشكلة في كلمة واحدة ما تفهمها خلاص تضيع أحيانا. هذه بعض الأشياء. Okay, so the next slide. That was very great, Dave. Let's make. طبعا احنا راح ناخذ سلايدات، عندنا سلايدات كثيرة، راح نحاول نسوي مع ديف حلقة بالأسبوع تتكلم عن هذه الأشياء، وش الأماكن اللي نروح لها، كيف نتكلم، نعرف الأشياء عن الثقافة النيوكاسلية. Okay, next chapter or next slide.
The next slide is just the history of Newcastle.
Yeah.
I'll go back.
Yeah, let's go point by point. First point.
Yeah, I was going to get this one up. Newcastle is the regional capital of the Northeast, which I've already mentioned. It's the beating heartbeat of the Northeast. The earliest settlement was a bridgehead on Hadrian's Wall, and we were previously known as Pons Aelius. So Newcastle used to be called Pons Aelius in Roman.
Okay, let me get this part. نيوكاسل يقول لك منطقة الكبيرة زي ما قلنا قبل في شمال شرق إنجلترا، فيها بعض أجزاء من الدولة تقريبا يعني مع بعض، يعني تقريبا هم 4 مناطق، لكن هم في نهاية الأمر هم الشمال الشرقي زي ما شرحنا في البداية. بالبدايه يقولك فيه اللي هو البريدج هيد اللي احنا قلنا الهادريان وول اللي هو بونز الايز. بونز الايز is the other name.
That's its Roman name.
رومان نيم، هذا الاسم الروماني للجدار هادريان اللي كان الفاصل بين اسكتلندا وبريطانيا.
Yeah.
اوكي next point.
It's in 1860. It just says that the River Tyne was one of Britain's second most important river in the country after the Thames. It was the focal point of the original golden age of coal. The original, what do you say, black gold. You know, oil's black gold these days, but originally it was coal, and Newcastle was the centre of the coal industry, coal mining, railway engineering, and shipbuilding.
اوكي عام 1860 طبعا منطقة التاين كانت ثاني أهم نهر في إنجلترا كلها. كانت مصدر للذهب والحديد والستيم. صراحة ما أعرف الستيم، أعتقد إنه بخار بس ما فهمت بالضبط شو المقصود فيه. سكك الحديد، تصميم سكك الحديد وصناعتها. أوكي it's where railways were born. مكان سكك الحديد.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
It's where the railway was born. It's where the steam locomotive was invented by George and Robert Stephenson. They actually they used to live not far from where I live at the moment. They invented the first steam train, and they also were the people to come up with the first railway line between Liverpool and I think it was Darlington. Was the first railway line. And that was the first passenger railway line in the whole world, and that was all built from Newcastle. So we're very, very forefront of engineering here in Newcastle.
من أول ما بدأ يعني اللي هو السكك الحديدية ما بدأت في إنجلترا علشان التوصيل أو يعني إيجاد المساء لكي سهولة الوصول للمصانع وقتها. جورج وروبرت ستيفنز في عام 1820 و 1830 طوروا التصميم أو المكان most famously at the rocket in their Newcastle works. okay. أول سبب لهذا الشيء كان actually I didn't get what's the word locomotive. What is locomotive actually?
Locomotive is steam train.
steam train. القطار البخاري هو اللوكوموتيف. أول قطار بخاري في العالم في القرن التاسع عشر. Tyneside was the scene of the invention of the electric light bulb.
That's correct. The electric light bulb was invented by a gentleman called Joseph Swan, and he invented the first electric light bulb. And Lord Armstrong, at his home in Cragside, was the first house in the world to be lit by electric light. So the electric light bulbs was invented in the northeast, was invented in Newcastle.
اوكي طبعا تاينسايد اللي قلب نيوكاسل كان اول مدينه تم اختراع فيها اللمبه الكهربائيه او المصباح، يعني لمبه المصباح. last point the application.
Yeah, of turbine power to marine engineering. It was the first time a steam-driven engine was applied to boats and ships. And the ship that actually that it was used on is called the Turbinia. That ship itself is actually inside the Discovery Museum, and you see it's the first ship with a steam engine. So it's again part of our history.
طبعا محطات توليد الطاقة والهندسة في المنطقة البحرية في نيوكاسل. هذه كانت النقطة الأخيرة. نروح للنكست سلايد اللي يتكلم. طبعا احنا عندنا الحين هذا السلايد الخامس. راح نختم. can we do two slide more for
yeah
we'll take Yeah, we'll do 5 and 6 and continue maybe next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is a Gordie, Dave?
Yeah, a Gordie is an inhabitant from Tyneside in the northeast of England. Gordie also means or describes the dialect or the accent known as Tyneside English or Newcastle English.
اوكي جوردي عباره طبعا عن اللهجه او طريقه النطق الفريده من نوعها لمنطقه تاينسايد نيوكاسل، يعني هي الانجليش، هي الانجليزيه حقت نيوكاسل. اوكي.
Yes. A Geordie is specifically a native of Tyneside, especially the Newcastle upon Tyne and the surrounding areas, which I've already explained about North Tyneside, South Tyneside. So that's where we hail from.
اوكي الجوردي بالضبط هي تقريبا هم الاهل الاصليين للمدينه اللي هم اصلا كانوا من نيوكاسل ابون تاين، طبعا مع المناطق المحيطه. The definition?
The definition of Geordie it's just repeating what's above. That's just repeating exactly what's above. I'll go to the next point. The next point is more important because one account traces the heritage of Geordie to the Jacobite rebellion of 1715, where the Jacobites declared that the natives of Newcastle were staunch supporters of King George, which is where we got the saying George's men or Geordie's men. So that's that's one of the reasons where the Geordie came from.
Yeah, this is exactly, I know this before. طبعا ليش سموا بالجورديين؟ نسبة للملك جورج. طبعا لما جاء منطقة نيوكاسل يعني كان المنطقة يعني استقبلت الملك جورج ورحبت بأنه يكون هو الملك حق المدينة بدون أي قتال. يعني طبعا ما يعني اللي قيل يعني أنه يعني كانوا يعني فرحين بقدوم الملك جورج، فعشان كذا سميوا بالجورجيين. يعني كانوا ينتظرون هذا الحدث وقتها. طبعا أنا في سؤال بسأله بس يمكن ديف I will ask you Dave. I didn't get what mean by Jacobite rebellion. What is this name?
It was a civil war. A civil war within Great Britain at the time.
Okay. حرب الأهلية.
Yep. It was a civil war back in the 1715, and you had two armies, one representing the rich people and one representing the king. So King George, and we sided with the king. So that's why we got called Geordie's men. We got Geordie. Geordie is a nickname for George. So that's where that came from as well. So
brilliant.
Geordie's men.
Yeah. Actually, I love when you see something I know already. It's easy to understand. Okay, let's point in this slide.
Yeah, this slide, obviously, the theory around the term Geordie is also thought to have come from the northeast coal mining area, but it's more likely confined to an area around the city of Newcastle. And it's also said that you can only consider yourself a Geordie if you were born within 1 mile of Newcastle city centre. If you were born outside of 1 mile of Newcastle city centre, you weren't a Geordie. But unfortunately, that is also one of those contentious points. People say, "Well, they keep saying."
Actually, yeah, I am. Actually, I think the George is the king is much makes sense.
Yes.
هذه نظرية إنه من وين جت يعني نظرية أقل من سابقتها تحكي عن إنه ليش سمي بالجورديين نتيجة إنه كل مين يعني إنه في منطقة معينة اللي ينولد فيها يعني تسمى جورديين، يعني اسمة لاسم المنطقة مش عشان الملك جورج. أحد النظريات لكن ما تحظى هذه النظرية الشيء الكثير. Now we'll go to last slide before going to maybe some comments and maybe some question to finish with Dave. And really, I enjoy this show, and I'm sure the fans as well. And we will do it especially every week. We'll make this slides and this great effort by Dave. We really thank him for that, and it's gonna be an archive for all Saudi Arabia.
What did you say there? You said it's gonna be. It's gonna be. You're getting there, وليد. You're even starting to talk like a Geordie without even knowing you're talking like a Geordie.
Because I am always hearing, watching all the shows, and then FC Matters and the tune. So it's really all right. So let's go to the last slide with us tonight. Then we'll go to the question. Okay, and you will see maybe some familiar faces. What you can tell us about this slide?
This is a nothing slide. This is just something I could show people who were these people are from people we class as Geordies. You should be on there. You should be on there. But we can miss that one out. Do you want to go into a slide where we're teaching somebody how to speak Geordie?
You mean another one?
Yeah, let's go to number 20. Number 20 is just a few words.
Actually, it's not my. Okay, let me see. 6, 7. Number 20.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, we'll go that. We'll go to that one. Yeah, one of those two will do. We'll just go to that one. Just like some of the words that we use in Newcastle. So, where we got. Yeah. So I'm going to teach you and your friends a few words that obviously we use in the Northeast. Just so you're aware of, things like netty. When you go to the netty, you're going to the toilet.
Oh, so this is very hard word.
Yes, netty.
So okay. الكلمة الأولى وأنتم يعني بكرامة يعني دورة المياه تويلت طبعا باللهجة الجوردية تسمى نتي.
Yeah.
So netty is toilet يعني دورة المياه.
Yeah.
Second.
The second one is Raji. That means angry.
Raji يعني angry غاضب.
Yeah.
Raji.
So the next one down I've got Raji Gaji, which means angry man.
Okay, so when say this, Dave is Raji Gaji, so he's angry man.
Angry man, yes.
Because I'm not learning so fast. Raji Gaji. Angry man.
Angry man, and as you can see, I put Daniel Levy's name next to that because he's a very angry man at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah. So Raji. So now let's call Daniel Levy. Let's give him a nickname. Is Raji Gaji.
Raji Gaji, yeah.
Raji Gaji. Great, brilliant.
Biddy. Biddy means woman.
Biddy means woman. So yes. Usually you don't say woman in the conversation. You said biddy.
No, it's just like it says. You can describe it as, have you seen that biddy? So you can say, have you seen that woman? So you use biddy as a word to describe a woman. That's the word it's an old word. Let's just say it's an old word. It's not a word we use all the time, but it's a word it is an old word.
Okay, old, so odd. Don't say L. L is silence. Is that right?
L is silent, yeah. So you say oud.
Oud
woman. You can get oud woman. So you can oud biddy.
Oud biddy.
So you mean old woman.
And this is go for anything old.
Yes.
You should say just odd.
Oud.
Oud. Okay.
Oud.
Oud biddy. Okay. Byron.
Ben. It's called Ben. B-A. Ben.
So R silent.
Pain. It's Ben. No, I think what would be silent in this would be the I. So it's Ben. So technically it's like B-A-R-N. So it describes a baby or a child.
Or a BN sport. No. Okay. Baby or child. Pain. Pain.
Yeah. And
pain.
then when
I'm saying right? Pain?
Ben. Yeah, you're right. You're saying right. Ben.
Pain.
Okay. The Bens. So you talk about your children. So how many Bens do you have?
Bands. Okay.
How many children do you have?
I have two.
Two. So you've got two bands.
Two bands.
You got two bands.
Great. Cry band.
Cry band means
Soft.
soft child, someone who's always crying, someone who's always moaning.
And
Again,
also Danny Levy.
Daniel Levy. He's
That's
crying.
That's brilliant.
They're all jealous. They're all jealous, aren't they? And
Yeah.
we've got Dunch.
Dunch. Crash into.
Yes. So
Does it mean crash into? It's mean like I'm going crash into. It's like mean I become suddenly an entrance, or it's mean like I'm going.
I say it could be when you're crashing a car. You've dunched into somebody, or when you've actually pushed past somebody.
اوكي. ممكن يعني تعني يعني التقيت. تعني تعني انك التقيت باحد او تفاجأت في مكان مثلا، رحت مكان او التقيت في احد. يعني هذه ممكن لو اقولها كلمة في العربي ممكن تكون صادفت. ممكن احنا نقول مثلا صادفت احد او صادفت محل او بالصدفة شفت. هذه ممكن تسمى كراش انتر اللي هي دانش. دانش.
I'll leave the next two to you.
Okay, Belter is very good.
Yes.
ممتاز. جيد جدا. Yeah, and you know, I think I did mistakes, so I will just review. Maybe I forget to translate in Arabic sometimes. Maybe okay. Odd woman. طبعا احنا نقصد انه امرأة كبيرة. بدي تطلق للمرأة بدي. بين أرسل للبيبي، وبين كراي بين اللي هو يعني انه زي ما نقول احنا دلوع مثلا. دنش قلناها انه صادفت احد. بلتر يعني جيد او مره ممتاز. يعني بدل ما تقول excellent تقول بلتا يعني كلمه للمدح قويه جدا. Okay, now we are in probability, so this means very good.
Yes.
Extremely good.
Extremely good.
Probability.
Our lead show is probability.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you very much. Next word.
Spelk.
Yeah. Splinter.
That means splinter in your finger. You know, you get a bit of wood stuck in your finger.
Wood stick.
Have you ever had a splinter in your finger? You know,
something sharp.
Yes. It's called a spelk.
يعني اتوقع شوكه، يمكن قصد شوكه. شوكه حقت الورد. اوكي شوك يعني. Great. Now we are going to
Gobmouth. Yeah, that means your mouth. In this
either
case,
gob is mouth. Mouth. Yeah.
That's what Geordies will say, either gob or mouth. Like, and in this case, we'll say Daniel Levy, shut your gob.
So in all words, you are saying Danny Levy, huh?
Yes, I am, because he's upset me. He's upset me.
Okay, Daniel Levy, shut your gob.
Shut your gob.
Shut your gob, Daniel Levy. Shut your gob.
Which means Daniel Levy, please be quiet. Don't say anything.
Okay. Again, they like old and hard.
Had. So it's like HALD, but the L is silent. So you say had.
هاد من هولد يعني يمسك. هاد أو هولد يمسك شيء أو هاد شيء. طبعا الكلمة اللي قبلها احنا قلنا الموت يعني الفم. سهلة يعني.
Yeah.
Last.
I'll give you an example.
For hold.
Had means
had.
So
had my beer.
Exactly. Had me beer. Keep a had me beer. Yep, exactly. You said it without this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Tab, which means cigarette.
Okay, that's weird. How so?
That's just what the Geordies call cigarettes. They call it snout. You either call it snout or a tab or a fag. But we tend not to use fag anymore because fag also is a derogatory term, which was given to homosexuals back in the 40s and 50s. So it's not a word we tend to use anymore. So we tend to use snout or tab. So
I see.
That means cigarette.
Okay. Before we go to the question and comment, we have a few. I would like to back to this to end to just remember where we are finished next week.
Yeah.
I will play a game. I will try to name most people I can name in the picture.
Right.
I will start from Steve Histy.
Yeah.
ستيف هيستي طبعا اللي حامل لوحه بالاخضر اللي معنا في NFC ماترز. تحته اللي لابس نظاره دكتور نيل ميتشل. طبعا اللي جنبهم طبعا نشوف حنا كيث باترسون صاحب قضيه خلال بالمنافسه. طبعا البنت اللي لابسه نيوكاسل هولي برضو من NFC ماترز. واللي طبعا فوق طبعا هذا ديف مدرسنا ديف اللي فوق الصوره. ستيف ريث اي صح اي سي ستيف ريث. ليام كينيدي. And this is very hard to اللي جنب ألان شيرر next to ألان شيرر very hard for me to say the name, but actually I was embarrassed to say or I forget how they can Ant and Dak. I don't know how to say it.
Ant and Dak, you said it perfectly. Mate.
So it's this is nickname or this is actual name?
It's actual names.
Ant and Dak.
It's Declan Donnelly, who's the one in the middle. Declan Donnelly.
And he called Ant.
And the other one on the left-hand side is Ant McPartlin.
Ant and Declan.
And Ant and Dec.
So the shortcut Dec. Okay, and this is Alan Shearer, of course.
Yeah.
Who's the one with the cigar?
That one is John McCririck.
John McCririck.
John McCririck. Yes, he passed away, I think 2 years ago. He was the Channel 4 horse racing correspondent. He was very, very controversial character.
Nothing with the football.
No, he was mad on Newcastle. He was absolutely mad on Newcastle. But he's one of those charismatic Geordies. You either loved him or hated him.
Okay.
Very misogynistic.
Okay, what's his name again?
John McCririck.
طبعا هذا اللي مع السيجار كان مراسل يعني ما ادري عنده خلافات مع نيوكاسل لكنه كان يعني توفى طبعا رحمه الله من سنتين. كلام ديف له علاقه في مضمار السباق مراسل في مضامير السباق. Okay, what is the player rest in peace. What is the player under him? With the
man under him, the guy with the football top on is Sam Fender.
Sam Fender.
He's a pop star. He's a pop star, and that's him. The day after the takeover was announced on BBC television, and he was actually very, very drunk live on TV because he'd been out partying in Newcastle with everybody else, and then he had to go to London on the Friday morning for a press conference. He was actually hungover live on the television. But he's another mad Newcastle supporter.
Okay, who's the one with the black hat, like Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, that is Brian Johnson from AC/DC, the rock band AC/DC.
Okay, فنان يعني مغني في الروك and roll. Yeah.
Yes, but he had a band back in the 1970s, which was actually called Gordie, because he was from Newcastle, and his band was called Gordie. But
كان عنده رابطة يعني فرقة موسيقية اسمها جوردي. Okay, who's the lady under him or next to Liam?
That's Cheryl Cole.
Cheryl Cole. Cheryl. Okay, she's a singer.
She is a singer. Yes. I forget which group she was in now, but she famously married Ashley Cole, the footballer.
Ashley Cole.
Yeah, Ashley Cole. I don't know who she's married to now. She's married to somebody completely different now, but yes, she's native of Newcastle, but again, she's a very strong Newcastle supporter. And I think her dad, when they got married to Ashley Cole, give Ashley Cole as a wedding present a Newcastle United strip. He wasn't very pleased apparently because he was playing for Chelsea. He was playing for Chelsea at the time.
All right. So the two lads and at next to her, two lads. What is the name of the tall one?
The tall one. That's Jimmy Neal.
Jimmy Neal.
Jimmy Neal, yeah. Oz from Auf Wiedersehen Pet.
Is what actor or player?
Actor and singer.
Oh, okay. And the one next to him?
That's Sting.
Sting.
The
famous Sting.
The famous Sting, yeah.
Really? He's from Newcastle.
Sting's from Newcastle, yeah. He's a teacher from Gosforth. Oh. Sting is a big Newcastle supporter.
The singer.
Yes, it's his 70th.
I always hear about him, but I didn't know that he's from Newcastle. I forget this.
Oh yeah, Sting's from Newcastle, yeah.
Great.
And like I say, Jimmy Neal, who's standing next to him, Oz, another big Newcastle supporter, and very famous in Great Britain.
Okay, last three picture we have Gibbo, of course, the legend Gibbo from NFC Matters, اللاعب اللي في النص أخير في الزاوية في اليمين موجود في برنامج NFC Matters لاعب Gibbo. Who's the lady above and below Gibbo?
The lady above is Gabby Yoreth at the top. That's Gabby Hastings or Gabby Yoreth. She's
is it Gabby from Gabriella?
No.
Gabby. So Gabby. She's a singer.
Gabby. No, she's TV presenter. TV presenter, yes.
And last.
And the girl at the bottom, I think that is Chloe Ferry.
Chloe Ferry, singer as well.
Singer as well, yes.
Okay. Brilliant, Dave. Really
you
brilliant.
You did very well there. You did very well. Recognize them faces.
So, how I get from 10 to Dave as a student?
Honestly, it's 10 out of 10 for me, mate. 10 out of 10.
I get 10 from 10. That's too much.
No, honestly, you've done very well.
Thank you. It was really fun. Let's quickly have Tom. You didn't tell me about I think this is just a request. I thought Bruce out. I was almost cutting the show to read about it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not important news. Luis Campos, the man who turned Monaco and Lille. Yeah, I heard that as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he's a Portuguese guy, and he was with Manchester City. We talk about him in Baza show tonight. Saud from Saudi Arabia say thank you, Dave. It's in English, so very. I thought it's in Arabic. He thank for you. Thank you for such an informative talk. Very interesting. Will be saved from YouTube. We'll send to my friend. Actually, Saud, it's in our channel already there. It's live in Twitter and YouTube. Okay. This is my friend Abdel Basit Isam. He appeared with my show before in Euro, especially in Euro. He said, "What is this new hairstyle?" طبعا احنا وعدنا اذا صار تيك اوفر راح نصبغ اشكر عاد انا الوعد لازم انفذه عاد شو اسوي he said now he's saying that you are copying Newcastle fans. They are doing like Saudi wearing thobe and shimag, and Saudi doing the same Newcastle, have a blend and hair sharing.
If you want to be like Newcastle, what you've got to do is you have to get a flat cap and a white scarf. A flat cap, like Peaky Blinders, and a white scarf. So that's a cap, and it's called a muffler.
But why white scarf?
It's just what the miners wore back. It's just what the miners wore. The very early Geordies, now they wore white scarves because
and the black. And what called the hat? Black also color.
Flat. It's a flat cap.
I know. What color of it?
It can be any color. Any color.
I thought it must be black, so black and white.
No.
and it's called. It's called muffler.
Muffler. Scarf's called a muffler.
Muffler is the scarf.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's because the miners didn't used to wear shirts. They wore jackets because they were going down the mine, so they didn't wear shirts. So they wore a white scarf to look like they were dressed. So that was just the way that they did, because they didn't wear anything with their jackets.
Zebra. Thank you, Mark. His accent has been slipping in Owa the month like.
What?
I don't know. But thank you, Mark. Can't have them calling glasses Speedy.
Why not? Lasses or biddies, they're the same.
Odd Biddy Eye. Okay. England true language, of course.
Yes, yeah.
Of course.
Home rule for
Saud-
Geordies.
Saud says, what about tears? Because I enjoy the tears of 19 club in the Premier League so far. Good vibes.
Cry babies. Cry bens. That's what your whole 19 are cry bens.
Okay. I have a guest, but he's late, so I think we should kick him out of the class because he's very late. His name is وجدي. وجدي تأخرت على الحصة يا وجدي. الحين توك تجي يعني جينا ننهي البرنامج ما يصير. وجدي is from Tunisia. He's my friend. He's actually ex Arsenal fan. He said I am Newcastle fans now. He's from Tunis and hopefully he will join. Don't miss next class, وجدي. Last comment here from my friend in Twitter, Andy, I believe. وليد, have you seen the film Purely Belter? Actually, no. I watched Goal yesterday, but I'm planning. I've been sent a lot of films to watch, but lately now I'm happy with the takeover. I'm doing the shows, everything come together, make the shows. It's a crazy times of our life.
Yeah.
So we must watch the film later on. I will try to write it down. What do you think of this movie?
It's a very good movie. It's about two lads and a Newcastle United season ticket. They get a season ticket, so it's very, very good. Purely about that. Recommended watch, definitely. If you get the chance.
Yeah, of course. Wash hands. Thanks, Dave. I get it. Tears. Maybe Google Translate. I'm not sure. Anyway, that was a Belter show.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm sure this is one of the. It will be a recorded, and it will be #1 guide for Saudi after the takeover. How are the lads?
How are the lads?
See you next week.
See you next week, mate.
Learn yourself a Gordie with Belter Dave.
Cheers, mate.